Hello and welcome everyone. This is Todd Walters, Platinum Coach with Craig Proctor Real Estate Coaching. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic today. Now we're going to work on our business a little bit here. And one of the things that Craig and I think most important, and that is recruiting. Look, you're only as good as your lowest producer. That sounds kind of weird. It sounds kind of odd. It even sounds, it just doesn't sound good to me when I say that. But, at the end of the day, it's true. Is that, how do you measure your business, your success? Well, look, many of you watching today's webinar, you don't have any people leverage at all. Okay, some of you have no assistants, you got no salespeople, you're flying slow low. That's okay. And some of you watching today's webinar, you got 30 people around you, maybe 40. Okay, but at the end of the day, how do you measure your success? One thing's definitely certain. Okay, and let's be really clear on this. One thing is for sure certain is that if you want to grow your real estate business, sooner or later, you're going to run out of time, your time. Time on the things that you can do, only you can do, right? So that means that the things that can be delegated, you just do them. It's funny when you look around at the world today and big businesses that exist out there. People like, let's just pick somebody we may be familiar with. Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump is in the real estate business just like we are. Commercial real estate development. He doesn't lift any hammers and nails. He doesn't install any windows. He doesn't run down there and sell units. He just comes up with big ideas, negotiates the deals. I think that's about it. And everything else is completely delegated, well systemized, respectable people that work with him. And he's a perfectionist, right? So he really, if there's anybody that understands out there that you're only as good as your lowest producer, he would be a good example. Okay, so one day, everybody watching this webinar, one day, you're going to be faced with decisions of, do I do this or do I not? And whatever this is, okay, I'm sure is going to be very important to you. So for me, one day I was faced with, do I go on that buyer appointment? Do I go show that house or do I not? And finally, I just put my foot down and said, I'm not going to go show the house. Okay, somebody else is going to do that this time. And what I saw was an $8,000 commission check basically turning into $4,000, and it was a little bit gut-wrenching, right? Because you're giving up $4,000 when you could have $8,000. But at the same time, I was like, whoa, wait a second. I'm not giving up $4,000. I'm actually going to make probably $30,000 as a result of not doing that activity anymore on a monthly basis. So that's how you look at leveraging with people, is that you're faced with these tough decisions. And if you'll open up your hand and let that, like we're talking about here, that $8,000 commission check go, you're probably going to gain 4 or 5 times that. It's going to put right back in your hand because now you've got lots of people, 2, 3, 4, depending on what you call the lots. And for some of you, like I said, 30 or 40. But you've multiplied yourself. So is there more money in multiplying yourself? The answer is, well, yeah. So that's what recruiting, growing your real estate sales team really is all about. Okay, but it's going to start with looking at your real estate business from the lens of how good are we? Instead of how good am I, how good are we? Okay, it's very important here. All right, so we could get into a lot of discussion in terms of team building, growing, but I think everybody gets that. So today's webinar is really part 1, okay, which is setting up your automatic reverse prospecting system. Right, so I'm going to walk you through the steps, show you some great examples here, and that'll be easier for you just to mobilize, what it is you do every day and take your business in the direction that you want to go to. All right, so let's take a look at a few of these systems here. Oh, I guess I should introduce myself. You didn't know who I was. I have been blessed with the opportunity to lead this Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker program now for a long time. And it's just been a great life highlight for me. So um, I can't say enough about how much I enjoy talking to you guys and helping you with your real estate business, and chit-chatting with Craig Proctor about his business, and just all those things that make it so interesting and fun, challenging. I can't tell you how challenging this is. It's a big deal to help someone go from 150, $200,000 to seven-figure net income business. Very challenging because it takes a lot of things to come together right. And what we're working on today is one of them for sure. The people, leveraging your business with people. Okay? So let's take a look at a few things. All right. A few things that we want to be aware of. All right. Number one, slow to hire, quick to fire. You ever heard of that one before? Slow to hire, quick to fire. Like, this is your business. You're the risk taker. You were here first. You'll be here last. Right? So never stop looking for better people. Doesn't mean you need to hire them all the time. But look, if you find a really good agent and you look at your team and you say, well, I've already got a buyer's agent. Well, is the person you're staring at right now that's a prospect, are they better than what you have? And we're not saying go and get rid of the one you have. We're just saying it would probably be a mistake not to bring on the better talent. Right? Let them compete on your team for business. Craig Proctor was very, very good at that. Letting his team members compete with each other. And then the best agents get the best leads. All right, so what is your message here? What are you offering me as an outside sales agent prospect? Like, why should I even consider working with your team? Making a move from where I am now at my current brokerage. And think about that. You're asking a real estate agent, has their license, they're in a zone, okay? And then all of a sudden you come along, knock on the door and say, hey, over here, look over here. Maybe you should consider what we're doing. Why? Is it better? Is it enough better for me to consider making a change? And that's because look, I know that most of us probably hire frustrated people that are frustrated with their current position and opportunity. But how do you recruit the people that aren't frustrated with their current opportunity? That's a tough one, right? All right. Well, let's look at some offers. What we call your USP offer, and everybody should have one. Just like you've got unique selling propositions for your seller prospects that you're targeting, you probably have one for agents as well, right? This is a good one: $100,000 to $300,000 real estate career. About the average income for buyers agents throughout the Platinum program. So if you've got buyers agents that are, grossing $50,000, that means they're netting $25,000. That's probably well below the average. Okay, so I've been able to establish over the years that this is the range. All right, I'd have a couple of agents that would gross around $200,000 to $250,000. I think I had one agent one time gross upwards of around $300,000. That's about it for my team over the long haul that we had it there. Okay, so, but just about everybody was grossing, $150,000 to $200,000. So that puts them up around $100,000 in net income, right? But other big key bullet points here: all leads and appointments supplied, no cold calling them, no manual grunt prospecting, no expensive advertising, no desk fees. You may want to draw a circle around that one. I don't know if that's the case for you or not. Okay, Craig's agents paid desk fees. Mine did not. There's a little difference in the brokerage arrangement there. All right, but this is one that really I threw in here that made a big difference to me, was the commissions. All right, now this is a qualifier, because a lot of agents out there that live in the 6% world, as they do in my marketplace, and they see 7 to 8%, they're like, what the? It's an attention getter. All right, big time. So and it attracts a little different prospects. You're going to want to play around with these bullet points, but I think that probably is the best USP overall. It encompasses quite a bit of information. All right, but that's not enough, right? Now we've got to have a really good call to action. So I want to talk to you just a little bit about that. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on this because this is where I think some of you fall short. You got a pretty good USP. Let's go back there and look at that. All right. But then you throw in your call to action and it's like you want to hire them. Call me and let's talk. That's a big deal to go from where I am now in a comfort zone. Maybe I'm uncomfortable. And then you put an ad like this out there. And then you say, okay, now call me. That's a big leap. That's a big leap. So you probably are going to be better off at your automatic reverse prospecting systems telling people not to call you. They don't have to talk to you. There's no reason to talk to you. They can get free information without having to talk to you. So free report. That's what we call lowering the threshold of resistance. See, Craig and I we want to face reality here. When we in Metro Atlanta, okay, myself here, there was a point in my real estate career where I could say, hey, call me and we'll talk to you. We got some openings on my team. Call me and we can talk. There'd be a phone ring. People would call, right? But look, that was after 15 years, of being at the top of the pyramid among all the real estate agents in the whole city. So obviously, you gain some stature and some credibility and some leverage in that. So for many of you, you may not be there yet, but there may come a time when you can just do that. All right, but for now, I think you'll find that it might be better for you to tell people they do not have to talk to you. And then you offer them a free report. Okay, so you got the ad, you got the call to action. They're going to order the free report, and then you should go out and invite everyone who orders the free report, okay, to some sort of group interview every month, every couple of weeks. I think Tim and Rosangela Johnson down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, every other week they're doing a live group Q&A. Okay, and we've tested online webinars. Instead of a live group Q&A, we've done them online and just polled people, okay, over the webinar. We're going to take a look at that here in a minute. So those are your options. You just need to decide how you want to function here. They both work. Obviously, the webinar will have more people attend because they don't have to drive anywhere. But there's something to say for people that get in their car, drive across town, come to your live group Q&A, right? They're going to be a little more qualified and motivated. They had to jump through some more extra hoops to do that. So we want to talk about the call, we want to talk about the ads, we want to talk about the newsletter in terms of our approach to get these agents' attention. All right, now let me say this. I was talking to some Platinum members yesterday, and they were telling me they were desperate for some outside salespeople. And desperate is not a great place to be, but I understand that. So I said, look, your best lead generation for buyers and sellers is when you generate the lead, and then you've got to follow up, and you've got to convert them to a face-to-face appointment, right? And then you go out on the appointment and you convince them that you're the person that can best help them in their present situation. Is that correct? It's not going to be any different with your recruiting. Okay, running your ads and email blasts and these other things, they're just not going to pick a phone and call and say, I want to work with you. So if you need outside sales agents right now, well, nothing's going to replace a phone call to do that. So I said, look, if you need agents right now, then your automatic reverse prospecting system, the ads, the email blasts, that runs on autopilot. That's going to produce leads that you'll follow up with, get them to your group Q&A. But man, if you need somebody right now, you should be working off a list of targeted prospects, right? And just come in every morning and just call 3 of them. 9 o'clock in the morning, you make 3 phone calls. You do that every day, 5 days a week. It won't take long at all. Some of the agents will reach, most of them you won't. Some of them will call you back, some won't. Okay, but over the course of a couple of weeks, you're going to end up with several good interviews. So I just want to let you right know that nothing will replace that networking and those personal phone calls. but your automatic reverse prospecting system will bring in a steady stream of prospects, leads for you, right? Letting people know that you are in the market for talent, right? So nothing will replace that personal phone call. I'll be taking, there's a woodpecker outside my door. You can hear him pecking out there. I don't know if you can. All right, so what do we say when we pick up the phone? Let's suppose we're in this situation, we're kind of desperate. Well, first of all, you don't say anything. We think that someone else should make the call, right? But if you're all by yourself, we understand that you got no choice in it, right? But I would just follow the script. So here's the script. Okay, an assistant calls the agents selected as good candidates. All right, hey, John, this is Dana, and I have an important message for you from Todd Walters. If you could call me back, I sure would appreciate it. And it's very important. Thank you. So, all right, so the agent calls back, right? And Dana just follows the script. If Dana's making those calls, maybe it's Beth, who knows who it is. But Todd Walters asked me to give you a call because he wanted to discuss your interest in selling more homes, making more money, enjoying the rewards from it all. Okay, there you go. So this script is good. It's been tested, right? And you can see that we're flat out inviting them to our office to discuss it further. The higher up the ladder the agent is in terms of their production levels, the more aggressive you're going to have to be in working with them. But let's understand that it's probably going to be difficult for us to hire people like us. Right? We're probably going to be hiring agents that aren't quite where we are. I remember talking to another Platinum member, and they were saying, yeah, but I want these guys who are selling 30, 40 homes. Well, look, the guys who were selling 30, 40 houses were at one time selling 5 or 6 homes, were they not? They didn't just wake up selling 30 or 40 homes a year. So don't ignore the people based on their production last year. Okay, they may be the next guy that's going to do 30 or 40 transactions. So I enjoyed catching those kinds of agents on their way up. That was my target market. Those younger, more aggressive people that were kind of on their way up was always represented the best agents for me. Okay, and you can see here's the recruiting script continued, and this just deals with some objections they may have. Now, I want to talk about this performance guarantee down here on the bottom. We guarantee you that if you join our team, that you'll make at least $25,000 more and work no more hours than you are right now. And if you don't, we'll pay you the difference. Well, the $25,000 may be construed as that's all they're going to make is $25,000. For example, let's suppose they made $10,000 last year. Well, I'm only going to make $35,000 working for you. So you have to be really careful with that number. Okay, now if you know they made $75,000 last year and you come in and offer them $25,000 more, great. Right? So it might be better to say you'll double. But again, depending on what the person made, that may or may not be a good performance guarantee. So if some of you are having some issues using that performance guarantee, it may not be the right message. Again, if they made $15,000 last year and you say, hey, you're going to make at least $25,000 more, well, whoop-de-doo, make 40 grand. All right, you want to get that? So be real careful about that performance guarantee. So let's go back and look at this USP offer. What is it that you can guarantee? Well, we're going to give you all the leads and appointments. Okay, everything that I'm using to be very successful, you're not going to make it. You're just going to spend your time actually selling. Just come look at the leads and look at the price ranges. Sit down for a few minutes. I'll show you the leads. And then you can make a decision. Like, have you ever seen 2,772 leads in one place? Have you ever seen that? All right, I'm going to show it to you. Matter of fact, I may want to, let me get back to where we were. I may want to show you something here. I'm going to make a little note so I don't forget to do that during this little webinar. Okay. So we got our script. We ran through objections. Right? Now, when a prospect accepts our invitation they're emailed the confirmation. Check out the stick, the word stick here. Now what that means is that once we sign somebody up to our group Q&A, if that's what we're doing, then there's an automatic program that reminds them to show up. Okay? That's what stick means. Now we'll look at it in just a minute here, but let's take a look at the number 2 approach. Okay? Now we talked about calling, right? Calling the best prospects. We've got that working, and that's what many of you will do when you get in a bind. Okay? But you won't be in a bind if you can get your outside sales agent recruiting system, the automatic reverse prospecting side of it, working now, going. That's going to provide you with a long list of people, and they're going to be coming, and it's probably going to kick in about the same time that your growth does in your business. All right, so let's take a look at that. All right, so first of all, we want to do is we want to select the advertising channels. So here they are. Where are you going to be with your message? Oversized card inside your listings. Okay, so that is a recruiting ad on an index card inside your listings. A little stack up. It says for buyers agents. Your newspaper help wanted ads. Job sites like on Monster Career Builder, Craigslist. We're testing some ads on Craigslist right now for our next recruiting web Q&A that I'm doing, just to see how that works. I've never done it, but some other Platinum members said, hey, it's working really well for me, so we're testing it just to see what happens. Okay? Wherever you advertise homes for sale, you're recruiting there. So I like to kind of, and you guys can read here, I don't need to go through it all, but what I like to say is, like, wherever you make contact with agents, that's where your recruiting ad is. All right, so you don't need to do all these mediums, but you really need at least 3 of them working on autopilot for sure. So I kind of bolded my top picks on this list here just so you get an idea of kind of how we do it. Oh, email blast to your agent database. Well, first of all, you got to have an agent database to even blast to. So one of the things that I did early in my real estate career that benefited me, and I want to pass this advice on to you, is that we treated real estate agents just like they were buyer and seller leads. So every time we got a call from a real estate agent, a voicemail from a real estate agent, a page from a real estate agent, and then later in my real estate career, emails from real estate agents, and we did not have them in our database, we put them in there. So we put agent leads in our database just like we would buyer and seller leads. Everybody get that? And we tagged them. They got a user definition in Agent Office as an agent prospect. Now, this is important because we'd also label the ones that we did not want to have anything to do with. So, and over time, that database grew to several thousand realtors. So that served me well down the road when I was no longer going on any appointments at all and looking for the best talent out there to leverage my real estate business. We had a good database to pick from. All right. So let's talk about the ads. The ads job is to drive the prospect to a landing page for their free report, or of course to an information line to get the free report. There is something to say now about the information line because you can hear the agent's voice when they leave a message. So here's the card inside your listings. Okay, this is probably an index size card, and this is on one side. On the other side, it says for buyers agents. Okay, I want you to picture this. You got your flyers over here on the right, on the dining room table, and on the left of the flyers, you've got a little index card for buyers agents. It's got your logo on it. It's got your contact info. They flip it over, and this is what they say. All right, how do you like that? That's a great idea. And you can see here, I'm saying, dude, you're going to make a lot more money. It's going to be a lot easier for you. You're going to be doing things that you're not doing right now, okay? And you're going to stop doing the things you don't want to do. And, you know, that's how it works. And look, don't call me. You can find out for yourself. Just find out for yourself. There's a free report that details it all. Okay, that's a very low threshold of resistance. So we get a lot more agents. This is a great list builder. Make it real clear on that. List builder. People that order the free report get tagged as a higher priority prospect. All right. So look at some help wanted ads right here. Award-winning real estate team requires licensed realtors. Unique inside sales position available with Atlanta's award-winning real estate team. Okay. Order a free report. You can see that's a call to action. Order a free report. I see that? Okay. And there's the biggies, the USP, unique selling proposition, bullet points that we threw in here. Now, we're not going to talk about inside sales, hiring inside sales, but the same principles apply to hiring inside sales people. All right, internet job sites. We used to have an account with Monster. I don't know how big a deal that is nowadays, but Dwayne Legate, I know he used to work with Career Builder. And we've used Career Builder before in some marketing. This is a good Craigslist ad as well. Okay. But again, we're driving them to a free report. Much more likely to get the lead that way. All right, let's look at some display ads in the real estate books. And you're like, real estate books? Yeah. So if we're advertising listings in the real estate book or magazine, we've got big USP ads in there peppered with listings and stuff. And one of these ads may take up one of those listing spots. Again, we want to be where the real estate activity is, where agents are looking for homes. Now, I don't know how many agents go flipping through the real estate books, but they do, looking at other agents' ads. It's typically the agents that advertise in the real estate books that are flipping through the real estate books, which mean they're pretty good agents. Okay? So, pretty nifty. Those are good ads right there. This one right here has a real estate commission in there. So you may want to test that. Talked about that just a little bit ago. All righty. Outgoing materials, outgoing faxes, outgoing cooperating thank you letters, anything that goes out, seller's property disclosure statements to other agents, anything that goes out to real estate agents, you can leverage it with your recruiting ad. Some of you have done this on your email signatures. I remember our closing coordinator. Okay, we had her email signature set up with our recruiting ad, and that was huge. Man, we probably got more leads from that than we did anything else from really good agents that were interested in our team. But again, this offer here, $25,000 more over the next 12 months. If they only made $15,000 last year, that's probably not going to be very appealing, right? So you got to be real careful about your offers. You want to test them. All right. Now, one of the coolest, probably most ingenious things that I ever did was on our feedback website. And it was really interesting is that I took out our contact information, the business card contact information that goes into the home feedback websites. So we just popped that out, and we popped in its place my ad. Yeah, we just populated the fields with the ad, and that's kind of what you see right there. That was pretty interesting. Hey, incidentally, see this house right here in this picture? That house is directly across the street from me in my own neighborhood. I sold that house there. I might have sold it a couple times. Back in the day, it was a cool little house on the corner. All right. Cooperating thank you letters. Right? Here's a great example right here. You guys can see that. Subject line, thank you, dear cooperating agent. But you want to make sure you got their name in there, right? Be real careful here of copying things identically. And look down here. We just have some testimonials that we populated in after the, hey, thanks for the co-op here. We're going to get this home closed, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to do this. But I also wanted to let you know about, something that we're doing over here. We want agents like you. Okay, so that's what that does. So if you don't have a thank you letter or email that's being delivered to the co-op agents that you're doing deals with, you may want to consider doing that. Now, probably the thing that works the best overall is just an email blast to all the agents in your database or board or in your contact management system. All right? So this was always effective for me to generate a pretty decent supply of agent leads. But again, we're driving them to a free report. We're not saying, hey, come work for me. We're saying, we've got an opportunity over here. It may or may not be right for you. You should check out this free report to find out. Okay? So I wanted you to get a really good idea of some of these email blasts. Let's take a look at OSA Recruiting Email Blast number 1. Here's number 2. Now, what's going to make these email blasts ultimately, let's just say this, effective or less effective are your subject lines. All right, here's one from Craig Proctor. Everybody can see that? He's got him calling an information line. Okay, so you think about that. Your subject lines, that will make or break whether it gets open or not. Okay, so this one, more buyers and sellers who need to move. Who doesn't want that? Well, I do. All right, so let's look at another OSA recruiting email blast here. Playing around with some subject lines. Check it out. Mo fatter commission checks finally. All right, so interesting things like that I'd play around with, and it would exclude people, repel some. And one of my favorite subject lines, check this out: rich agent, poor agent. You like that one? Rich agent, poor agent. So which one are you? Okay. Or who else wants more listings? Who else wants more closing checks? All right, so that's there's some ideas on some subject lines. Now look at this email format. You can see I squished it down. It doesn't run all the way across the page. The way you see it is the way it went out. We actually increase our readership when the emails are written like this. I don't know why. That was an idea I got from Frank Kern. If you don't know who Frank Kern is, he's an he's an info marketer, an information marketing coach actually now. He sells products and stuff like that too over the internet, but he teaches it. So I got this idea from him. Studied him quite a bit. He's really good at what he does. Now, mentioning the word video, okay, so if I go to the landing page to order their free report, okay, and you'll see this one that says nothing about a free report or anything. This email is just to drive the prospects to the landing page. So let's be real clear here, okay? In these ads, we're talking about you're going to get all these goodies. Okay, we do this, you get this, you get this, you get this, okay, and get a free report that tells how it all works. In this email, you can see it basically is just calling out that, hey, there's a pretty interesting opportunity where it might make your job easier. You may enjoy your career more. You might actually make more money. You can get more seller prospects. It's really possible. There's a video that tells you how it all works. So we kind of stopped short of giving them all the details in favor of language that will drive them to a page where they watch the video, which is basically this offer. This would be an example pretty much of the landing page along with the video. Okay, so you can see a little different strategy. That's called opening up the funnel. We're just widening the threshold. Okay, so let's look at one more. Subject line, you are lucky. More closings. Recorded video reveals. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. This one gets right into the ad, and we basically drive them to a video page. So you can see that we've got two different approaches. I highly recommend that you look at both. Okay, approach number 1 on your email blast. Don't say anything specific about the job. Just identify a problem. You've got a little bit of a solution here, and there's a video that reveals how it all works. Everybody see that? Now, hey, this is just for kicks. You'll start to see some of this down here in this PS in some of my emails, because I've noticed that since I've jumped back into the real estate business here after 4 years of retirement, trying to recruit agents, is that people think I'm selling them a coaching program. I wonder why. Because I've been a real estate coach now for a decade with Craig, so I'm pretty well identified with that now. So this has been an issue for me. So I've kind of had to say, no, I'm not selling a coaching program or anything. Just got some information for you. So it's been really interesting. And I've had to do something to combat that. I'm going to show you what that is here in a minute. All right. Oh, rich agent, poor agent video. Remember I mentioned that to you a minute ago? So here's another outside sales agent's blast number 3. Look at this. Which category do you fall into? All right. 55% of all agents who sold a house last year only sold 1, 2, or 3 homes. Yikes. If you sold 7 or more, you're in the top 35% of agents for productivity. But there are a select few agents who sell around 7 homes a month. Right, 7 a year, 7 a month. And they do no open houses, no manual run prospecting, no advertising. This is a very interesting email. So what we would do now is we would change the format of the email to look like this one and test it. So I know you're probably saying, well, what's the difference between the way it looks when it comes over? And trust me, there's a lot. We're trying to make our email stand out so that people will read it, click on the link, and take action. Okay? So I want to encourage you to do that so that if you're, I know that sometimes we assume that you pick up on these things that we're teaching you to do, but it's good to do a webinar here and explain to you how it all works. All right? And here's another one. This one did not work well at all, so I threw it up here. 9 awesome sellers. Probably not a good subject line. Started out with a testimonial. Didn't work real well. Went right into a help wanted ad, basically, and to go get the report. This failed. This OSA recruiting email blast, very effective. Lots of click-throughs, about a 45% open rate. Okay, this subject line got the same open rate, but this format didn't get as many people clicking through. And this email right here didn't do much at all. All right, so great information for you. Okay, so let's take a look now at one more. Don't fight the real estate market. Make at least $100,000 to $300,000 a year selling real estate. No hyper gimmicks. Don't know if I like that. Don't fight the real estate market. It would probably be better to say, who else wants to make $100,000 to $300,000 a year selling real estate? That would be a better headline. And you can see this is a different format than what we just looked at. See that format? See this format. Now, since you're watching the webinar, I know you can stop this thing at any time because it's, look, you may be watching it live right now, but if this is a recorded webinar on the coaching site for reference, you can stop at any time and do whatever you want to do. And this PowerPoint for this webinar is available on the coaching site under Platinum Recruiting Systems in the file library. Part 1, Platinum Recruiting Systems. OSA Recruiting Part 1. Okay. Alrighty, so that's a pretty good ad right there. That one did well. Check out the URL that we registered, ingruntprospecting.com. You like that? Yeah, that's good. So anyway, let's look again. Highest commission check ever. Good subject line. It worked. Who else wants to make $100,000 to $300,000 a year selling real estate is a better headline than don't fight. Okay. No, 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 no. Okay. That's pretty good. But then I put down here, probably should separate this all buyer, seller leads, and appointments supplied onto a different line. All right. But then we're driving them right to a report, okay, and a video. Probably should have said right here, structure report details. We probably should have said video details and just left it at that. Okay, that was a mistake, probably saying that just because, remember, we're trying to drive them to the landing page. They can't order the report on the email, right? So we're trying to get them to the landing page, which will tell them why they should order the report. Okay, here's another example. And again, I'm just showing you all kinds of examples of ads, okay, email blasts and the like, so that you can give it a test. Affluent realtors do this. Okay, that's a pretty nifty subject line, you would think, but it was just okay. Middle of the road in terms of open rates. Okay, but it might work well for you, so you can give it a shot. And you can see that we're really pushing here, that we're hiring, we're getting, we're looking for. You've got it. There's a job opportunity available. Right? And again, that may not be as effective as getting them to the landing page, watching the video, telling them about a report they can get the details, all this, stepping them there. All right. See, a lot of people will make their landing page be their email blast, and you can see we've got two examples here, and you're just going to have to test it yourself. Okay, direct mail. I was having a conversation with some Platinum members, and they were talking about Infusionsoft. And they were, spending thousands of dollars on setting up Infusionsoft, and I'm just, kind of cringing a little bit. And finally, they noticed my grimaces, and they said, "Is there a problem with Infusionsoft?" And I said, "Not a problem with Infusionsoft." I said, "But let me make sure I understand this. Isn't Infusionsoft built around, or the main reason you're using Infusionsoft is for email marketing, email follow-up, email?" And they said, "Yeah." And I'm like, "It's just a huge mistake, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. What is one of the biggest problems you have today?" And they said, "Reaching prospects." And I was like, "So email is going to improve that?" Dude, it's getting more complicated, harder to get your emails to go through to people, let alone getting them to read them and open them. So why do you want to keep building on something that's just not going to work all that well? So be real careful of email. So direct mail, you know what, still to this day, is the numero uno way to get business. Okay? You can fight it if you want to, but I'm telling you, it just won't go. It is the thing. Here's how you know it works, is because very few people do it. Right? So if the majority is doing something, you probably want to be very cautious about that. Right? So direct mail is a winner for the guys who do it and do a good job of it. Okay? So you can take a look at the PowerPoint of these direct mail ads. And these are recruiting letters. Okay? And but I'd say, look, you can make your letters as long as you want them to be. What was I reading to you? Oh, there's nothing that a really good sales letter can't fix. There's no problem in your real estate business that a really good sales letter won't fix. How about that? Okay, check it out. I don't like this headline, make at least $25,000 more in the next 12 months. We tested it and tested it and tested it. Put it up here in these PowerPoints because I know some of you are using a performance guarantee like that. But listen, 25 grand if they made $15,000 last year, 25 grand more is not very appealing. See, again, I'm just going to repeat it in case you missed it the first time I said it. That may not be what you want to do or say. But this is a well-written letter, flyer, however you want to call it. Okay. But think about a handwritten note with a letter enclosed in an envelope mailed to the agents out there in your marketplace every month. It's huge, man. It's huge. It's just a big deal. It's hard to replace it. I know it's more money, but what is one really good agent worth to your business? I was always impressed, weren't you, with Craig Proctor's real estate business when he only had 6 or 8 agents on his team and they're all making $300,000. What's better, to have 8 agents making $300,000 on average, or to have 16 agents that make $150,000 on average? What would you rather have? Right. So do you think you can really build a team like that through email only? All right, so some of you know the problems that you're having in your real estate business with your team building. Well, why is it a problem? It's a symptom of something, and it probably has to do with the way that you're marketing. So don't ignore direct mail. All right, now you may be able to get away with this by actually using your MLS. We did. Check it out. Private confidential remarks. This is a real listing of my real estate companies back in the day. It's a daggum nice house there. What is that? 1.2 million it looks like. Like that. Anyway, looks like a short sale, so it wasn't all that long ago. Agents. Commissions. Agents, no cold calling, leads and appointments supplied. So we just kept going, no cold calling, leads and appointments supplied, no cold calling, leads and appointments supplied, and driving them to a landing page. Okay, so we used our private remarks for that in the MLS. Now, you're probably saying, we can't do that. Well, okay, I don't know what you can do and what you can't do. Not you, and I'm not where your marketplace is, but I'm just showing you what we did. Okay? So, all right, prong number 3. And now that we've got a good understanding of calling prospects, okay, when we every day come in, we're calling a list, we've got the script there, okay, we're inviting them to a group Q&A, or we're trying to pin them down for a one-on-one, however you want to do that. Prong number 2, an ongoing advertising marketing system, leveraging all the things that we do every day, being where real estate agents are, okay, with our recruiting ad, driving them into a landing page, offering a refer report. Okay, that's those two options. Okay, and option number 3 is a biggie. Okay, so every month I publish an outside sales agents recruiting newsletter for you. I send it to you every month. Okay, and I put most of them on the coaching site under Platinum Recruiting Systems in the file library. You can go and see some of the recent issues. I don't put them all up there, just some of them I got my reasons for not putting them all up there, so just trust me on it. But think about it. A newsletter delivered to your marketplace or to a targeted group. Now, what is the purpose of this newsletter? Well, I want to position myself as the real estate expert, celebrity, author, all kinds of, I want them to know that, look, out of all the agents in this town, brokers in this town, there's one guy that knows what the heck he's talking about above everybody else. This man knows how to generate leads and income and make money and please clients better than anybody else. So how can you get your story out there? Well, so what we decided to do is we would actually put together a newsletter that would tell real estate agents how they can do a good job of making more money, growing their own real estate business. Business building tips. That's it. And then leverage the newsletter for a recruiting ad. For whatever, this has been, for Optimus Real Estate Brokers, the best recruiting tool above all else. Highest open rates, more response going to the landing page to get their free report than anything else, for obvious reasons. I'm telling agents how to make more money selling real estate, okay? And as a result of that, they see some benefits, some value. Well, he's not trying to sell us stuff. He's actually trying to help me grow my business. Okay? So Metro Atlanta Real Estate today, as a fellow realtor, you're receiving this monthly business building tip courtesy of me. Go sell some houses. This is not the way the newsletter actually looks, but okay. But again, you can see the article here. Like it or not, you're in the marketing business, not the real estate business. Pretty interesting, provocative for most real estate agents, not for you guys, but for other people to see that. And then we get right into the meat of the newsletter. And again, this is just a sample, doesn't have the full article here. You can see all the full articles in the newsletters on the coaching site. Okay, but I want you to think about that. A newsletter that positions you as an authority, where you're telling real estate agents out there how they can do a better job growing their real estate business just by pointing out things that you do without giving away the kitchen sink. Right? So it's a little bit of teaching, but it's minus some of the details. Okay, but Now, be real careful though, because if you just nibble around the edges on it a little bit, and you don't give them any meat at all, then they just get mad. Okay, so you got to give them a little something about how they can grow their real estate business. That's all you can do. I mean, it's been very effective for me. Okay, so I like that newsletter. I believe everybody should have a recruiting newsletter every month. 2 real estate agents in your marketplace. Free newsletter. Got the idea from Craig. He tells real estate agents in his mastermind newsletter how they can build their real estate business. And he leverages it to invite them to the super conference. Pretty freaking effective. Half of the people that come to the super conference are a result of that mastermind newsletter. Okay? And he could say, well, I'm telling them how they can get more business and do a better job. If I do that, they won't come to my super conference. And the answer is the reverse. No. It's the reverse of that. Okay. Somebody get it? All righty. So let's look at now the landing pages, the recruiting website. First of all, a benefit-rich URL. Okay. Agent testimonials if you've got any. And a video or commercial complete with the agent testimonials and things. Okay. So here's a good example. At ingruntprospecting.com. That's me. This is a screenshot, Optimus Real Estate Brokers, of one that I set up as a kind of a template so that everybody, and I tested it. Heck, I just sat down in front of my computer and just started recording videos, and it worked really well. I wonder what would happen if I actually got out inside and, made a really cool video, right? But again, you saw the emails, the email ads, the newsletter ads. You saw all the ads. It drives them to this page to get their free report. So when they come here, that's me basically reiterating, some of the great benefits and how it all works. But hey, don't take my word for it. Just get a copy of their free report and see it for yourself. Okay, so you can check that out when you get a chance at ingruntprospecting.com. This is the bottom. I scrolled down. This is the lower part of the landing page. Hi, my name is Todd Walters. Because of our unique marketing methods, proprietary, we got a bunch of business. We need help with it. So here's my offer. So to better help you really know how it all works, don't take my word for it. Just, get a copy of the free report. This is basically the video script. So I repeat, this video, me talking, this is the script. Okay. So if you want to know what to say on your video, there you go. All right. So you got a couple of options though. You can put a high threshold of resistance or a low threshold of resistance. A high threshold of resistance would basically be saying, call me and we'll talk about it. Low threshold of resistance would be saying, don't call me, get a free report that details how it all works. Okay, so high threshold of resistance. Okay, I'm looking for people. This is what you're going to get, and you need to come work for me, and here's why you should. Here's how we do it, which is way better than you do it, so you can call me right now at this number. Okay? See, here's my offer. I'm offering to do this for you. Okay, and you can see Craig's driving them right to an information line to do that. So that's a pretty high threshold of resistance. There's no free report being offered. When they call this script, it gets into a longer, detailed message about how things work at his office. And then there's an offer to send over a resume and be contacted. Right? So lower threshold of resistance. Well, offering a free report, obviously. So we talked about that. All right, here's a screenshot of a landing page that will offer a free report. So if you're using a success website, you can just copy and paste this into your landing page. But the video will make it a little bit better, like I showed you on the one that we did for Optimus Real Estate Brokers. Okay, so let's make sure we got this straight. Two opportunities here. Detail the benefits about working for your team Tell them to call you so we can talk about it, or they call an information line. You tell them what to do at the info line, like send over their resume, and you'll get back to them. Or drive them to a web page like this that gives them some benefits and then offers a free report. And the free report is what will do all of your storytelling and pre-selling and massaging them and all this stuff. But when they order the free report, you get the lead. So obviously you'll get more leads offering the free report than telling people to call so that you can talk to them. Everybody get that? Call for more information or just request the information here. Which one gets more agent leads? Okay, so there you go. All right, so let's look at, again, this is our landing page offering a free report. We talked about that, okay? The video script, you're wondering what that was? Okay, here it is. It's in the PowerPoint. Again, you can get this right off of the coaching site, Platinum Recruiting Systems, OSA Recruiting Part 1. You can see, hi, my name is Todd Walters, because of it. This is exactly what's on the landing page, give or take a few different words. There's the landing page below the video. Okay, it's below the video. All right. So I just put it into a script for you. Okay, now, so I request a free report. What happens next if I'm a prospect? Well, I get it. This is the email that I receive instantly. Free report's attached. And then we get right into our ads. Okay? But we also tell them that, okay, here's a report, but there's a webinar that details, I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to walk you through the entire real estate career. Okay? That could be on this webinar. I'm going to detail it on a free webinar. So now that we have the lead, now we go back to them when we sell them on, you should watch this webinar. Okay, so let's make sure that you understand that process again. Okay. The ad drives them to a landing page offering a free report. They request a free report. They get their free report and an offer to join us for a webinar. Okay, now this webinar can be on demand or it can be a real-timed webinar where you're going to do it at a specific time. It's up to you. I would test both. Okay, check that. It's a pretty good email though. See that? Offering the webinar. Free webinar reveals how you can actually get these things. I'm going to give you a backstage tour to my office on this webinar. How we generate all the leads, how we give them to you, how we're able to get more money than the other agents out there. Okay, how you can stop prospecting forever, answer all your questions. Basically the same thing you do at your group Q&A. We're doing it on a webinar. But your choice. You want to test both the webinar, an on-demand webinar, or the group Q&A. And we've got members that are very effective at all those things. Okay, so let's go back now. Let's talk about the free report. The free report is simply my pre-selling package. All right, and you guys have a copy of the report. You can check it out. I recommend that you do. Okay, here's the first page of the report. The free report reveals strange, weird, and controversial proof that there's no money in manual grunt prospecting, cold calling, or begging for referrals. But there's a whole lot of money for you doing it this way. All right, so here's the instructions, and here's what you'll discover inside this report. So it's a pre-selling machine to pre-sell the prospect on me. So that if they don't register for the webinar, or don't respond to our offers for for a group Q&A, okay, the report will do the job of pre-selling them. Of course, we're calling some of those prospects as well. All right. So the next two slides show the landing page that appears when an agent requests a free report. And this is where they get the offer for the backstage tour as well. Okay. So let's make sure we understand the process. Let me go back. Okay. Ad drives them to the landing page. Video talks about getting the free report on how their career could be just so much better. Okay. So they order the free report. They get an email with the free report attached to it. And they also get instantly, when they fill out that form, what we call a thank you page or a pop-up page. Okay? And the pop-up page offers them a free report rep. So it's the same. So they get an email and they get a thank you page that pops up automatically. Does that make sense to you? Two things happening. And both of these things offer the webinar. So this right here, little video, is a video about why they should register and watch this webinar. And again, this is a timed webinar. Okay, you see that? Free online backstage tour. Exclusive webinar reveals how you can dramatically do. So this worked pretty well at generating a steady stream of leads. I did the webinar one time. It just plays over and over again every month. Okay, this is the bottom part of that landing page. Drinking some coffee while I'm talking to you here. All right, so I'm trying to go slow just to make sure I work your way through, the whole marketing channels. And I think I've done a pretty good job of doing that. Giving you lots of options here on your recruiting. But at the end of the day, you got to do it. Okay? Now, the next two slides show the webinar confirmation page along with a link to the free bonus kit. All right? So let's go back. Okay, so let's make sure we're going through the flow chart. See the ad. Drives me to the landing page, which sells me on getting a free report. At the same time, pre-selling me on, and I say me, I'm talking about the prospect, pre-selling me on, your real estate sales team. I order the report. As soon as I order the report, fill out the form, instantly I get an email with the report telling me about a webinar. Okay, and I get a pop-up window, pop-up internet window. You guys know what I'm talking about, that you see right here. Okay, giving me the report. There's a link to download the report and an offer for webinar. I fill out the form for the webinar if I'm interested. Okay, and when I do that, I get a congratulations confirmation. You're all set for the webinar. And you can see we timed it. So we tested a timed webinar where, we build up to it, and we tested where they can go directly from here and watch it right now. So this works really well if you're going to do a timed webinar. If you're going to do an on-demand webinar where they can go straight there and watch it after they register for it, just watch it. You're probably going to have to call those. It's an inside sales agent. You're going to be calling those agents just like you would your leads you generate this way. Okay, everybody get that? Some of them will take action on their own, but you'll probably want to have somebody calling them and setting up some phone appointment maybe. All right. Now I gave away a bonus. You don't have to do that. Let me go back and let's look at it. Let's see, where's the bonus at? Where did I see that at? Right here. When you register for the webinar, you'll receive a complimentary ebook, 3 ways to triple your real estate business in no time flat. So we threw in a bonus just for doing it. And again, the bonus is a little more pre-selling on me. So let's, once they, here's the bonus. Your bonus, this is below the confirmation page when they register for the webinar. Okay, your bonus complimentary ebook. So it's just below the video that we were just looking at on the previous slide. It's just lower part of it. You can see I used a skinny page here just to, so people could scroll down, so they could click the link here, download the ebook. And the ebook gives them some great information on, what it takes to be successful in today's business, and does a little more pre-selling on me and my company. Okay, and of course we're selling them here on why they need to be on this webinar. Okay, everybody get that? Now, when the question I know that you guys are asking is, okay, how's all this working? Like, this doesn't look like Success website, and that's because it's not. These are all built on WordPress pages, and when they fill out the form, they're actually typing themselves into my contact management system, which is Infusionsoft. And then all of these things happen automatically. You understand? And just when they fill out a form, there's an action that happens automatically. For example, when they register for the webinar, the stick program goes into effect. Okay? And they get these reminders automatically. Now also GoToWebinar will do that for you. You have the opportunity in GoToWebinar to set up a stick program. If you're familiar with GoToWebinar, it will automatically deliver by email reminders about the upcoming webinar. You guys know what I'm talking about because you registered for this webinar on GoToWebinar, correct? Right. So you got reminders about it automatically. So anyway, so this is an example of a reminder. So work in Infusionsoft or webinar. Okay. And then of course, in the reminders, we make sure we have video links that they can click on and watch, and we prepare them for the upcoming webinar or group tour, again, as part of the STIC program. There has to be something that once they register, that's good. But now the work begins of making sure they show up. So you need a STIC program to do that. Okay, and that's what you're looking at right now as part of that STIC program. Right? So you can see we were doing a live group Q&A here for this one. We included a map, a video that reminds them of why they should come, what we're going to talk about when they get there. Okay. So I think we've done a pretty good job here today of letting you know all of your options. Live group Q&A interview or webinar at a specific time Q&A or an on-demand where they can watch it anytime group webinar or Q&A, if you want to call it that. Okay, so quite a bit of opportunities there on your recruiting, and there's really no reason that you shouldn't be generating more outside sales agent prospects if you will launch a system like this. Okay, but I want you to see what we're working really hard at doing here. We're working pretty hard at pre-selling the prospect on why they should consider being a part of our team. This makes it easy for me to hire them. When I finally talk to them, they're much, much easier to hire. Okay, because we walked them through all these steps. These things are working automatically. Okay. All right. So now, what happens when you finally get these prospects face to face? Well, we talk a lot about that in part 2. Okay, but remember, you want the best agents that you can get. Those who are motivated, those who see value in what you do, and it pays to have people that are in alignment with how you sell real estate, right? So whether you get a resume or whatever you're doing there, sending a DISC personal concept to them, however you want to do this next phase, it's really up to you, okay? But let's suppose that we're not sitting down with the agent and giving them a disc test. What would you do? If this is all done via webinar, and on the webinar somebody says, yes, I'm interested in joining your sales team, what next? Okay, well, we request resumes. Okay, so if the resume looks good, we send them the disc test using the disc manager on the coaching site. So let's go and check out the coaching site. All right, give me a second here. Let's pull it up. Come on, where you at? Here we go. There it is. Okay, Disc Manager is under Resources. So there you go. So you can send any agent, prospect you want the DISC personal concept. Click Disc Manager. And when you do, you can just follow the steps. It gets emailed over to them. You can see we played around with this in a little bit. It'll save who you send it to. You can view the results. Tells you what they scored. All right, I like it. This is a great tool. All righty. So let's go back to our slides here. Finish up this webinar for you. Okay, you want the best agents. So check it out. If I'm emailing or direct mailing or sending over a personal concept, what you're looking at right now is a cover letter for that. Please fill out the attached personal concept, fax it back. That's if we send it via email back in the old day. Okay, but now it's on the computer on your coaching site. You can just send it to them. But you need to let them know it's coming. And it's just a minor, I should have said this to Disc Manager, the email has a body here. You can see it when you're doing the Disc Manager. See that behind the screenshot? Okay. Matter of fact, let's go back there to the coaching site. Pull it back up for you. Let's just check that out one more time. I kind of skipped over that a little bit too fast. All right, here we go. Oh, be a son of a gun. Took me all the way back to the login page. Hey, that's part of doing live webinars, right? You guys want to know my password? I can't give it to you because it has all the administrative functions. All right, so let's log in and let's take another quick peek at that. Resources, Disc Manager. And I'll click on the Disc Manager. I know it takes a couple of minutes for it to stream to you. Funny how it works, right? All right. Send new test. And there we go. Email body. So what do I want to put in this email body? All right. I want to put something like this on this slide right here in the email body. Your consideration of joining a team of other professionals is understandable. Okay? But you can see we start out by telling them this is the next step in the interview process. Okay. Great job. All right. Now, who are you hiring? Well, high I's, high D's, and high I's. You decide on what experience level you want. But for me, we didn't have a system in place to train agents on how to fill out a contract. We didn't have a system in place on how to train agents to search for a home on the MLS and do CMAs. We just did it, which meant that I had to hire agents who already knew how to do those things. Do you know how to write a contract? Do you know how to use a super key? Do you know how to, how to do a CMA? You know how to find homes for buyers on the MLS? Good, you're in. Okay, if they had the right aptitude for it. So who knows how to do those kinds of things? Well, probably real estate agents that have sold a few homes. So that's why we targeted people that had sold probably around 3, 4, 5 houses as a minimum and around 15 or 20 homes as a maximum. It's a nice sizable list. That was our target market of agents. And I recommend that you probably figure one out as well. Okay? So the bottom line, though, is if you can get all of the agents in a room at the same time or on a webinar at the same time, okay, or drive them to an on-demand webinar, get them all there, and then tell them what you want them to do next. It's just going to be way easier for you every day. You're going to spend a lot less time. So you can see that this recruiting system took a little bit of time to set up on the front end, but now it just runs forever on autopilot until I want to change the offers. That's it. It's really that simple, just like any of your marketing systems. So I want to encourage you to set up a marketing system like that runs on autopilot to recruit the best agents to your real estate sales team and leverage your business with people. Okay, so that's going to wrap up part 1 of your automatic reverse prospecting system for recruiting. Okay, the next part gets into the group interview, how to hire, who to hire, and all that kind of good stuff, right? So you may want to consider moving on to that. If you haven't done that yet, you can access that webinar that's already on the coaching site, recorded. Okay, part 1 I've done probably 3 times over the years as we discover new methods and better ways of doing things and changing offers. Okay, but the rest of it seems to stay pretty consistent. over the years of coaching and helping real estate agents here. So with that, it's going to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys paying attention. Go sell some houses, though. We'll talk to you now. Take care.